It's been another week of beautiful weather at the small holding. It's probably been the longest dry spell since I've moved here. We used our fire pit for the first time and had a lovely fire under the full moon. Early flowers are popping up everywhere now. I've been taking advantage of the dry weather and cutting grass, mowing paths and planting. Starting with the wild garlic bulbs. So I've put these bulbs into pots in the greenhouse a few months ago and they're showing a few of their first leaves. So I'm going to dot them around in a few different places under trees where they'll have plenty of shade, which is what they like. Thankfully, I finished planting all of the bare roots, so all the hedging and all the trees are in the ground. So now I've moved on to the plants that are in pots. So because the whole land is covered in grass, I use this edging tool to cut a square in the grass, lift up the turf, I suppose, then pop the plant in and pop all the turf back in upside down so that all the grass and the weeds are not competing with the plant. Obviously then I also cover it with that jute weed matting that I bought a couple of weeks ago, and then a layer of wood chip. One job I really wanted to tackle this week was to get our driveway area tidied up. So this has been a dumping ground ever since we started moving all our stuff over and moving in. So it's stuff that we bought from our old house, from my allotment, and also a combination of rubbish that the previous owner left behind in some of the barns. My husband took a couple of days off work this week, so I wanted to use his muscle power to get this whole area tidied up. We're moving this IBC tank up to where the veg garden is, with the intention that when we put the shed up finally, we'll be able to hook it up to provide rainwater for watering the veg. I love how the calf follows us when we're doing stuff. We call her Inspector Poppy when she does this. It's amazing how much she's come along. She must have been so lonely before we got here, having no friends and just being an outdoor cat that no one ever bothered with. One of the other things I needed to do, but I've been putting off for a while, was to empty this veggie pod. So when we brought it here from our old house and I set it up, I was too lazy to level the ground first, which I completely regretted because there's a water reservoir underneath, and if it's not level, the water reservoir's not doing its job properly, you know. So yeah, I had to empty this. My husband helped me level the ground. We put bricks and whatnot underneath it, and then I had to fill it back in. So the next day we took a well-deserved trip to the beach. It's good to get away for a bit and just clear the head, you know. I'm just planting up this mahonia. I got it because it flowers in the cold months. So if there are any early bees emerging, they'll have a little chance with this. The thing I'm worried about though is that there's actually one growing in the garden over there, and I didn't realise it until the flowers started coming out in the past couple of weeks, because it looked really unhealthy. All the leaves are kind of curled and brown at the edges. So I had bought this before that. I'm wondering whether it's not really suitable for the soil that I have here. But we'll see, because what I'm finding is that the soil is very different in the different fields and stuff. This is a bit more crumbly, whereas in that field it's clay. You go over there, it's clay, and so it's different everywhere. Anyway, we finished the driveway, and it looks so much better. All the junk is gone. We've moved everything out of the way, so it's just clear. The only thing that's left is a tiny little bit of wood chip. So now it needs a little bit of gardening, it needs a little bit of TLC, it needs a little bit of tidying up. But I'll give it another couple of weeks just for the weather to warm up a little bit. I mean, to be fair, at the moment it feels like early summer. It's really warm because the sun is right on me. It's absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, I know that the nights are still really cold, so I don't want to cut away all the old plant material just yet, in case there's still bugs and stuff overwintering and they've not woken up yet. But yeah, God, I cannot tell you how good it feels to get that done. Since we moved in, that driveway has become progressively messier and messier and messier. God knows what the neighbours think. So yeah, I'm really happy. I need to get a bit more soil in this hole. I think I took too much out. This is a bit too low. It's coming up to the evening now, so I've just come into the greenhouse to do some last minute bits before it gets dark. So I've sorted out that veggie pot. It's all nice and level now. Well, as level as I have the patience to get it. I've put the compost back in, so now it's all ready for potting up any salad that I want to put in there. Now, if I was organised, I would have sowed my salad a long time ago, knowing that I was going to do that, and I would have had it ready to go in now. But of course, I've just got seed packets. It's so silly, honestly. I should have. The thing is, I was saying to myself 6 weeks ago, I kept saying, sow the seeds now, so that you can put them in as soon as you get a chance to sort it out. And I didn't. And if I had done that 6 weeks ago, when I told myself to do it, they would have been big enough to be transplanted in there. Anyway, that's the way it is, isn't it? So yeah, I'm tired now, but when it's that good tired, you're tired in a good way. I've done a lot of the planting now. There's still a few things left to do, so I've still got 3 hazel bushes to do and a couple of ornamental things. There's a sort of a creeping willow, a low growing willow, kind of grows along the ground, that I need to plant out. And I think I've almost planted everything else, almost. Yeah, I would say where I had sort of 20 or 30 things to do, I might have 7 or 8 now. So I'm just, yeah, it's just a relief to be getting there to the end of it. And it's a case of now when I buy new plants, which I shouldn't be buying, when I do buy more plants, I'm not having that sense of, oh my God, I have to plant these on top of everything else. Anyway. So I'm gonna get on with this. Oh, I also need to look at all of these. Can you see them? So these are suckers that came off. There was a lilac bush that I bought from my allotment. I'd planted and I didn't want to leave it there because I thought, well, if I haven't seen a flower yet, and I want to be the one to enjoy its first flowering after nurturing it from a tiny little thing, So anyway, I've planted that out into the field just beside over there, and I didn't realise that lilac gives off so many suckers. So there were loads of them. There were dozens. So I took some of them. I thought I'll pot them up, and then new plants. Oh, hang on, distracting me. That's the bird. So Apple, turn around, girl. Apple, what are you doing? Are you looking? Yeah, no, she's too busy looking outside. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes, I'm going to pot those up. So the more experienced gardeners, Yolande, Ali, Isabel, could you tell me, if I plant these up, will they turn into bushes, or are they just, rubbish that should be thrown on the compost heap? I'm going to plant them up now, but if you tell me that they're not going to turn into viable plants, then it's easy enough to just pull them back out of the compost and sling them in the heap. There was something I wanted to show you. So there's quite a few of the bits and pieces that I bought that I showed you in one of the previous videos. Sorry, I heard a noise. I'm always worried because there's lots of birds of prey here, and even though she's in the greenhouse, I do still worry that they can kind of swoop in and take us. So if I hear a noise, I have to check. Anyway, so look at this. Look how pretty this is. This is, I can't remember what it's called, but it's in the nettle family, and it's from Japan or Korea or somewhere like that, and it likes to grow in shade, and you can eat the leaves much like you would spinach. But I love the colour. Look at that. Can you see? Look, the pink stem and the green leaf. I just think that's beautiful. So I'm really happy that these are all coming up now. Oh no, I do know what it is. They're called Laportia bulbifera. See, a lot of them are still tiny little things, but some of them have grown big. So I'm really happy and delighted that a lot of the things that I've been nurturing over winter with no signs of growth are in fact starting to sprout. Hang on, I'll show you another one. You see this one? So this one is Korean aster, and I'm really happy that this has, well, that I didn't kill it over winter and it's emerged. Because you know, when you buy things when they're dormant, there's always that worry, isn't there, that nothing's going to happen. There was the magnolia tree that I bought. So I thought to myself, you know what, this looks really dried up. There are no buds on there and it looks awful. Maybe I should repot it. It's obviously in its dormant stage. So I went to repot it and there's no roots. It's just like a sharp pointy stick at the bottom of this twig. I'm calling it a twig because it's not a living tree anymore. And yeah, no roots on there. So I phoned, I emailed the company and I said to them, did you send me a cutting? Because, you know, this has got no roots on it. There's no buds. It looks like a dried up twig. So they messaged me back and they said, oh, there are, because I sent a photo. They asked for a photo. I sent a photo. They said there are fibrous roots on it and it's dormant, and in May it will have no problem growing. So I emailed them back and I said, no, I'm sorry, I don't agree with your assessment. I've been a gardener for a number of years and I know the difference between a dead plant and a dormant plant. Because, you know, the easiest thing you can do to tell if something is still alive is you just scrape off that top layer of the bark. And is it the cambium? You get to the cambium. Anyway, whatever. It's green underneath if it's alive, and it is brown through and through. Wherever you scratch it, I mean, all the sort of little twiglets, or what would have turned into branches, they're just snapping off because they're dry husks, and the trunk is dry, and you scrape it and it's brown on the inside. It's not alive. So yeah, I was not impressed with them at all. It was Blackwoods. Actually, I won't say the name just in case they come through and say, all right, we'll refund you, or we'll send you a new plant, or whatever. So I don't want to name and shame them. Anyway, so look, this one as well. Can you see that? Look, it's got a little shoot coming up, and this is the dense dichiote. It's got a very serrated edge. Oh, I don't know where I'm going. That's not the leaf, but it's dense dichiote is obviously dense. It's teeth, I think, isn't it? So the serrated edge of the leaf look like teeth. Well, I suppose if you've got sharp little kitten teeth. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling. I am going to get on with the sowing and the oh god, look, there's a bird of prey up there. God, they are stunning. So the other morning I was in bed. Sometimes I'm lazy in the morning. Well, I'm always lazy in the morning, so I think I was reading or doing something, and I heard screaming outside, a bird screaming. So I thought, oh, bloody hell, has the cat gone for a bird? Even though I've never actually seen the cat that we've got here, Poppy, I've never seen her go for a bird. Even when there's been a little ill bird sort of trotting around on the ground, not far from her. She sits on the shed under their food, but it's because there are mice or some sort of rodent that lives under the decking area in front of that summer house. And yeah, even when there's been that little slow bird sort of hopping around, she's not gone for it. So anyway, I did worry, oh God, has she actually gone for a bird? Because she is a cat at the end of the day. So ran to the window, and there was a sparrowhawk on top of a starling. I think it was a starling. And it was just screaming and flapping and the sparrows like this on it. And I know you're not supposed to interfere, but I just couldn't help myself because I just felt responsible, because that's the area where I feed the birds. I feed the birds in the garden. And I just thought, I've created that sort of place. If it was in the field, you know, fine. You're allowed to eat them in the field, but don't eat them in my garden where I'm feeding them, because then I feel responsible for that. So anyway, I'll get to the point. I said, I went, "Oi, get off!" So the sparrowhawk looks at me, thinks for a minute, and then kind of jumps off. And then the starling flew into the hedge, and the sparrowhawk flew kind of in the same direction. I thought, oh God, he's going to get it. And then it went the other way. And then I was feeling awful, because I thought, oh God, you know, what if, for example, you know, obviously they come down, they've got these sharp talons, haven't they? What if they've punctured the bird and it'll get infected, or punctured a lung, or done something terrible to it? I don't know. You all right, Apple? You okay, girl? Yeah? Yeah, what if it's injured it beyond like just a few little scrapes? And then it's going to suffer and it's going to die, and then that bird is going to go and find another meal somewhere else. And, I tell you what, things are never easy, are they? Well, when it comes to ethics, I mean the ethics of things and stuff and choices. And anyway, okay, yeah, I better stop there. That's why I've changed, I don't know if you noticed, but I've changed the format of my videos so I don't sit in front of the camera chatting anymore. Because when I do, it's just da 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 da, and I'm just blabbering on about nonsense things, and I have to edit half of it out. And then I'll say, oh, I'm going now, I'll catch you next time, and then I'll carry on talking about something else. So anyway, for sure, I'm going now. I'm gonna do my bits and pieces, and I'll catch you again next time.